devices, no? Alright, we're already delayed, so without delaying too much longer, we'd like to begin immediately. Honorable Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Honorable Cecil Mackey, former Minister of Culture, Honorable Rene Batiste, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Mrs. Lachlan Grant, representative from the Kingston Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, Mr. Ezekiel Richards. I'm also advised that the CEO, Mrs. Jasmine Huggins Daly, is present with us this morning as well. Representative from the Ministry of Education, Mr. Dexter Bacchus. Members of the National School Bands Showcase Program Committee, students, teachers of the various participating schools, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to the second year of this very exciting program initiated by the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture, the Department of Culture, and executed by representatives from all of these entities that have been formed into a committee, the National Schools Bands Program Committee. We want to welcome you and just to acknowledge the arrival of the chairperson of the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, Mr. Curtis King. Vice President, sorry. Yes, we want to welcome you to the media launch of this very special program. We know that music plays a very important role in the development of any society. And I often challenge persons whenever I have an opportunity to stand before persons to try and imagine a world without music. It's almost impossible. And so, from the level of the committee and from the level of all those who have been involved in the development of this program for over 4 years, bringing it to fruition, we want to thank and welcome each of you. And we appreciate your support in helping to spread the message that we are working very hard to secure the future of music programs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by involving the secondary schools, the primary schools, and eventually the community college. So at this time, I would like to invite for an overview of the showcase, the coordinator of the National School Band Showcase, Mr. Rodney Small.
President, good morning. Please allow me to adopt the protocol and establish. By focusing on exams and undervaluing informal approaches to music, we are preventing our young people from reaching their full musical potential. What's the best way to learn music? For many, progression is best measured by formal exams journey. It's easy to understand, evaluate, and it's effective, but it only tells a small part of the story. The established music education sector remains fixed on formal learning, and in doing so, fails to reflect the diversity of our young people. But the progression from that point becomes fragmented a bit, like a first date without a follow-up. Those who wish to follow the formal exam route should be encouraged and welcome, but so too should the child who wants to play in a band, sing in a choir, or learn an instrument. The key to lifelong engagement in music is enjoyment. Whether young music lovers become professional musicians, amateur music makers, or keen listeners, the challenge is to ensure that every child has the chance to realize their full potential. We need to focus less on the best way to learn and more on the fundamentals of encouraging children and young people in excellent music of all kinds in all settings. The starting point is to define clearly the building blocks of musical learning, which are, to the mind, singing, reading music, digital technology, attending live performances, creative involvement in composition, improvisation, and performance of their own work. The music profession needs to work harder to articulate clearly what musical progression and success looks in terms that are relevant and applicable across different genres and traditions. February 25th marks the day we launched the annual SVG TCCU Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture and the Ministry of Education National Secondary School Band Showcase, showcasing approximately 200 young and upcoming musicians in their individual elements. I urge you to take these stats very seriously because it indicates that there is a great demand for the creative arts within our schools, and as our theme states, bringing a modern approach to music education. On the 9th of March at 9 a.m., all school bands will be taking on a very intense workshop journey, highlighting the practical elements of stagecraft, stage performance, and preparing for a performance. March 23rd, 2019 is the grand day. The day where our school bands will set the E.T. Joshua tarmac on fire with all their creative juices. This year, the managing committee decided to include a mini fair for the kids and their family starting at 2 p.m. with lots of different attractions and rides. The actual performances will begin at 6 p.m. and ends at 9 p.m. Just like last year, there will be a transportation system in place to make sure that our young heroes get home safely in a timely manner. This year, the admission fee is $5 adults and $2 children. Why are we doing this showcase? Simple, to promote and develop our local school bands and get them ready for the business world of music, to do performances in hotels, national functions, parties, and private events. Our target audience includes local families, students, teachers, adults, teens, children, and anyone who enjoys getting out and having a good time. Preparations are on schedule, and you can expect nothing but the best from the management team and the school bands. Support your own and we will inspire you. We expect a packed venue as persons have already been creating a buzz about this event, which is giving us the courage and motivation to ensure that we deliver a top-class event. To our sponsor, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Cooperative Teachers Credit Union, we all salute you, not just for providing phenomenal credit union services, but also making sure that you help to develop and build our nation youth in a holistic way. To the Ministry of Education, teachers and principals, I can assure you that your commitment to this mission is not one that would be just a moment or lost in thin air, but it is one that would continue to foster great relationships and develop our students to become nation builders like yourself. The Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Minister Maki, Permanent Secretary, and the members of staff, I can tell you this much, that this venture is going to be one of our biggest flagship in recent time. You can hold me accountable for that. To all our potential sponsors, I know as CEOs, managers, you sometimes worry about where your money is going, but I can guarantee you that investing your money into the National School Band Showcase is one that you would never regret. We will definitely be sending you our proposal very soon. We welcome you on board. I want to take this opportunity to thank the management team of the SVG TCCU School Bands Showcase who have been visiting the schools, meeting and working endlessly to make sure that we satisfy the hearts of our students and patrons. The members of this committee are Mrs. Nadia Hamlet, Mr. Orandi Bamani Charles, Mr. Stephen Waldron, Mr. Sean Frederick, Mr. Michael Sinclair, Ezekiel Richards, Dexter Bacchus, and Mr. Geoff Venom. The management committee also wants to take the opportunity to thank all those persons in the diaspora: Miss Sally, Gans Mays, Kenley John, Fitz Huggins, Dwight Hillocks, Ricardo Adams, Eric Horn, and Randy Luther McIntosh for contributing some of the instruments you see here on display. I would also like to highlight that last year, each school band was given a sponsor to help offset preparation costs. We say thank you to all those sponsors, and in fact, most of these sponsors indicated that they are on board with us this year, and I must say how grateful we are that new sponsors have already indicated that they want to be a part of this year's showcase. I also want to take this opportunity to say that another shipment of instruments are on its way from New York City. We are still pushing the instrument call campaign, so if there's anyone out there who wishes to donate, please contact the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture. I want to say a special thank you to ITFX for streaming this media launch live. In closing, I am calling on all promoters, hotels, bars, and chill spot owners, event managers. We now have about 18 bands to choose from. Hire them, use them, promote them, and most of all, help us guide them. We have a new international airport that is now creating more attention to our blessed land, and in return, we would see more visitors coming to our shores. And indeed, a great deal of entertainment is what persons will be looking forward to. So there's no longer that excuse of not having entertainers or musicians to fulfill these desires at your establishments. To you, the bands and young musicians, the music industry is not easy. You must be disciplined, you must be true to yourself, you must be true to the art form, and most importantly, love and enjoy what you do. God bless.
Thank you very much, Rodney, and I'm sure our persons are inspired by those words as we look forward to many, many more years of developing the music industry through the young faces that we see here this morning. Next on the agenda is we have some greetings that we would like to be brought to you by a representative of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Cooperative Credit Union, seated here. Please welcome Mr. Curtis King.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. The Honorable Ses Mackey, Minister of Culture. The Honorable René Baptiste, former Minister of Culture, and there's a Speaker of the OECS House of Assembly. Mr. Bacchus from the Ministry of Education. Our brother Ezekiel Richards from the Teachers Credit Union, and I notice we have the CEO, Miss Jasmine Daly, in the audience. Representatives from the Ministry of Culture, representatives from the Ministry of Education, teachers, students, and I dare hope that most of the students that are here this morning are in fact members of their respective school bands. Members of the media are from the media. A pleasant good morning. Hope I didn't miss anyone. Certainly would not be intentional on my behalf. When you're a teacher, you're always a teacher. So right. In my case, once you start the profession, you're always a teacher. And you always have to be prepared. So let me up front apologize for my late arrival, because I was just told at short notice that I had to fill in for Brother President, Brother Jimmy Ford. Unfortunately, he could not make it because he has an important board meeting that he had to attend at his workplace. So my name is Curtis King, as you heard. I'm the Vice President of the Teachers Credit Union. It is with a sense of pride that I stand here to bring you some remarks on behalf of the Teachers Credit Union with regards to what I consider to be a very major activity on our calendar. And when I say our, I'm extending our to mean the country's cultural calendar. But you would forgive me if I digress a little before coming to this activity that is so important, because I think I want to use this opportunity to make a couple points. Firstly, we are gathered here on the very morning or the very day that one of our cultural icons, Dr. Adams, would be put to rest. He had been died sometime last week. I identify Dr. Adams because he has been a giant contributor to our culture in all respects in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I think you need to clap for that. Dr. Adams has attempted in his own small way to put together our story as a people and share it with all concerned, especially so our young people. And I'm in a privileged position in the sense that I remember one of his books, People on the Move, when we had what was then referred to as the St. Vincent and the Grenadines History Teachers Association. We piloted a project where Dr. Adams' book, People on the Move, was used as the text in the school. For whatever reasons, the Ministry of Education, I would say, well, let me put it this way, moved to another alternative. In other words, that program was stopped because we did not receive official support for the continuation. And I know, as headmaster of the grammar school, I ensured that the book was there even as a reference text. It is still there. But this man was also a poet, a storyteller, and he could say musician also. But students, I don't want you to miss the point that he was also an academic. Huh? Having pursued medicine, specializing in eye care. But he combined all these things to provide us with what I would consider to be a significant contribution to our own development. It is for that reason why I use this opportunity to open the debate and to continue to call for us here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to establish a proper national honoring system. I'm not in an exclusive club, in that there are those who came before me who have made the same call. I'm sure there are others who would come after me and make the same call. The point is, we need to show as a people that we appreciate our own when they make the effort to contribute to our development. Secondly, I want to point out to our students that this month is Black History Month. It is the month immediately before our National Heritage and Heroes Month. And indeed, these observances are significant. And as young people aspiring to be cultural icons, there are many whom you can pattern your lives after to eke out your own in terms of your contribution. I want to remind persons of Robert Lester Marley. He himself is a national hero of Jamaica. But he has done tremendous work to uplift the poor and downtrodden, and I must say, contributed significantly to the ennoblement of our Caribbean civilization. And therefore, you as young people must not take these things lightly. Use these sort of opportunities to make your contribution. I could come back now, with your permission, to this major activity. First off, I want to thank the Ministry of Culture and the Ministry of Education for accepting and providing us with this opportunity. Us here meaning the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union. Providing us with this opportunity to support this very meaningful event. You know, we are a teachers organization, and we have a strong and unabiding commitment to education. Therefore, anything that happens within the school, co-curriculum or extracurriculum, we tend to provide support. And when this activity was suggested, we stood firm in terms of giving support. It is the second year, and I'm very happy because at the launch in 2018, we promised commitment to this activity. I am happy to report that we are going to continue our sponsorship for the next 3 years. And we are not going to reduce them. In 2018, I was told 10 secondary school bands were listed to participate. If my memory serves me well, because I went, there were more than 10. But I was later informed that one of the bands was a combination of schools. And we also had some not so young persons from the Teachers Credit Union. This year, I'm told that we have 18 school bands done for participation. That too deserves a round of applause. This is a very expensive undertaking. So I want to encourage, well, first, thank those sponsors of the various bands for their sponsorship, and to encourage them to continue to sponsor other bands so that we can one day have all of the secondary schools participating in this meaningful event. I wish also to congratulate the school bands for their creativity and originality in what we consider to be very important, our SVG TU, well, the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union jingle. We had a competition to come up with an appropriate jingle, and the bands participated. And they were very creative. And more than that, the originality is what, more than anything else, came over to me. When we decided to sponsor this activity, one of the catch, in our view, was the idea that we would have a national youth band or secondary school band. Again, this is nothing original because we have a national youth band. People like Scorpion, I can remember, Scorpion, whatever you call himself. But he came out of this youth band. Unfortunately, we have not had one for some time now. And we are really hoping that we could, in fact, have a youth band. How wonderful it would have been, given that Carifta is just around the corner, to have our national youth band going to represent us at Carifta. Carrie Fester, sorry. Carrie Fester. Carrie Fester being the athletics competition. Yes, these things are important, and I want to point out that he who feels good about ourselves is normally happier and more productive than he who does not feel so good about him or herself. And that is why these, what I call expressions of our art form, are so important. And that is why our Ministry of Education maintain these things on our curriculum. It is for the teachers and the management of the schools working closely with the students to harness the talent. And we have an abundance of talent in our secondary school. Provide the youth with the opportunity, let them take it forward. Before I close, I want to make a call that I should have attached to what I said earlier. And I'm dealing with the Ministry of Culture. I believe that we have had sufficient discussions. We have had efforts before, but the time has now come for the Ministry of Culture to take the lead with coming up with proposals for a national honor system. And I'm going back from it. It is time that we start to be like other people and don't elevate others who might have had very little to do with our country as heroes. Or, like I usually say, let the colonial masters identify those among us who still like those awards. Let them identify those and award them. But where we are concerned, let us come up with an appropriate system to award our people. So it comes from us, not somebody else. I hope that the ministry will take that lead. In closing, I want to quote something. I don't know who wrote it, but I know the Teachers Credit Union got it from them. It says, music provides a better perspective on our cultural history. It develops greater language capacity and it builds self-esteem. Therefore, Teachers Cooperative Credit Union approves this project, will continue to support this project, and we wish the 2019 edition total success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Curtis King, for those inspiring and encouraging words. You know, this is truly a team effort, and without the generous contribution of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, I can say that this exercise would still have remained on the pages of the proposals that began all those years ago, Mr. Richards. And so we are truly grateful and thankful for the enthusiastic support of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Cooperative Credit Union. And I'd like to add some information in relation to the number of schools that have shown interest. We started last year with about 12 schools. We heard that there were 18 schools, but I've just been told that there are 2 bands currently at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College that are now expressing serious interest in joining us for the National School Band Showcase. So that brings the number up to 20. I also want to say that a lot of our experienced musicians and artists have already been showing support, coming on board, and so a component of the project is to establish a mentorship program for the school. So our established musicians and artists will be going through the country to the schools and offering themselves and their experience and their expertise to the students as mentors. And hopefully that would add value to the program as well. So we want to thank all of those who have come on board since yesterday. At this time, it gives me great honor and privilege to invite to the podium to deliver the featured address this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, I might have gotten ahead of myself there. Yes, I got very excited this morning, I got ahead of myself. At this time, we have some remarks from another of our partners from the Ministry of Education. Please welcome Mr. Dexter Bacchus.
Pleasant good morning to all. Good morning. Permit me to adopt the protocol already established. We are here again to highlight the tremendous work done by the Ministry of Education and Information, Ministry of Tourism, Sport and Culture, and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, and all the sponsors in the development of music, primarily in the secondary school. For it is partnership at all levels that is needed for the continued development of and success of the visual and performing arts here in St. Vincent. It is with this fact that the inaugural school band showcase was such a tremendous success. And at this time, let us give the organizers a round of applause, please. And the Ministry of Education look forward to the continual support of the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union and the Ministry of Culture, Sport and Tourism in the further enhancement of music here in SVG. But before I close, I'd like to give you a historical background about the development of music in the secondary school, mainly band programs. In the early 90s, the UNESCO gave the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ministry of Education, a set of orchestral instrument through a grant program for the development of school band here in St. Vincent. That project was led by Mr. Geoff Venner, the then Education Officer for Music here in St. Vincent. That band later saw the development of a national youth band, first a school band, but because the members were getting old and had to leave school, they had to justify having the band, so they turned it into a national youth band. I was a member of that band, so I was privy to the journey from the beginning to present. That band developed and was instrumental in the development of a lot of outstanding performers here in SVG. As was mentioned, Mr. Bomani was not in the band, but he was influenced by that band. We had Mr. Madzat, which was in the band also. Then we have a teacher I'm seeing in the back, Mr. Samuel. He was a member of that band. Some of the band members went on to international acclaim. We have some members right now presently education personnel within England and across the world. The band saw, in the early 2000s, the band went through some transition where, because people went on, lack of funding, the band went under. But presently, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines made a big injection through different projects, sponsorship, which saw the rise of band in schools. At present, we have 17 bands active in the school, with other bands coming on board, as said by Mr. Rodney Spall and Mr. Bomani. So we have 17 bands actively in schools, which are run by the Ministry of Education and the music teachers. So in closing, we'd like to thank all involved, especially the sponsors who made this possible, the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, who's pledged to give sponsorship for the next 3 years, And we don't want this just to end after the 3 years, which we know it will not. We want bigger and brighter things for the future, because music is not just a subject that we do part-time, but music helps us to develop as a nation, record our culture, our belief systems, and lead us forward. And as somebody said previously, it makes us a happier nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dexter. Ably representing the Ministry of Culture and following along in the footsteps of one of my personal mentors, Mr. Jock Venner. Right, so at this time, I would like to invite to the podium to deliver the feature address the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Honorable Cecil Mackey.
Thank you very much, Umani. And I don't know about the word feature, because as far as I'm concerned, I didn't ask him to do the feature address, but I think it's not a bad person to hand over to in terms of doing feature addresses. I want to thank Curtis for really bringing out all of the important elements this morning so that we can share that information with the world. Members of the head table, persons gathered in the audience, drawn from the various secondary schools, the students who I want to address in a main way this morning, members from the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Ministry of Education, members of the media, and of course those who are following us live stream across the region and wider world. I noticed that a number of persons referred to the ministry as the Ministry of Culture, suggesting that what we're seeing here is just a cultural moment. But I want to say to all this morning that there is tourism aspects of this project that we are doing. And therefore, I'm happy to represent the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture this morning as we move forward with the development of this very important program. Yes, we started the journey in 2018, but this morning I want to say is going to be a game-changing moment for this event. What we are seeing is swift evolution from just an engagement of students and schools to something that is real, has real meaning, so much so that we can virtually reach out and touch. So I want to say to the students this morning to take this exercise very seriously, because the future is yours to create coming out of this event. We started this journey in 2018 because we saw a lack of continuity where musicians in St. Vincent and the Grenadines were concerned. We saw that for Carnival, we scrambled to put together music bands, and then after Carnival, they fell away. And we virtually saw the same musicians appearing time and time again. And that immediately allowed us to see red in terms of the future of music and entertainment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Not that seeing red is a bad thing, but when you see a red flag being flown, you know that that represents danger. So we decided to do some collaboration. You just heard from the representative from the Ministry of Education that they started a music program long ago. But they were also concerned that they were seeing a fall off in terms of the interests of the students, of the teachers of the schools. And in fact, they continue to echo very loudly that one of the challenges as we go forward with this program is the lack of music teachers and carrying on of the curriculum where music is concerned in the schools. So we took some tentative steps in 2018, not sure of what would transpire, but we knew what we wanted and we knew where we wanted to go with this program. Engage possible sponsors. Sponsors came on board, other financial support institutions, and we did the necessary collaboration by establishing the committee. And what we saw unfold before us was 11 musical bands from the schools and other community bands and the gospel band. And we saw great enthusiasm from the music teachers, from the students of these various schools. And on the night of the showcase, we also saw not only the energy and the enthusiasm from the students on stage and their teachers, but the crowd, the patrons, without exception, all indicated their full support and excitement of the program as well. And we committed in 2019, let's go forward with even more energy from the organizing committee, and let us see if we can get more schools involved. So, in February 2019, as we prepare for showcase in March 2019, what do we have? 18 of the 27 or so secondary schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines participated. We have moved from just over 100 students taking part in this showcase to 200 students taking part in this showcase. Now, if that isn't impressive, I don't know what else is. We heard of the financial commitment of the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union this morning for the next 3 years. My prediction is that this event is going to go into the next major festival here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And if you support that vision, I want to put your hands together. I suspect the other 9 or so secondary schools will be extremely jealous when we see this program this morning. We have heard at the community college, they got so jealous that they have committed 2 bands coming out of that institution. And I expect that with the additional support that we will be given this year, instruments and all, that we will see the other 9 secondary schools wanting to get on board. So we will have to be creative because we know that some of those secondary schools would come from the Grenadines. So we'll have to see exactly how we can fashion our inclusion of those schools in this program. Where do we go from here? We know we have the bands on board. We know that we have the possibilities and opportunities. We know we're seeing more and more teachers coming on board. We see that the diaspora is now on board and supporting in a major way with these instruments that we have this morning and more on the way. So 200 plus students now participated. And we see from last year's event, individuals, students who participated, being incorporated into the community bands across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We see some of those bands also staying together, playing for events of their schools, playing in communities, playing for activities, and making money, and therefore helping to sustain themselves. We see some of these players now incorporated into the church bands across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And this also is a very important development. I see some music producers in our audience this morning, and they're smiling as I refer to them. And they see opportunity with these additional musicians being produced here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Students, your involvement in these bands, and you will have to go and do some research with some of these names that I'm going to call for you. You can become the next Plumie or Ike in terms of playing bass in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And these are some of the big names of yesterday, well, in my time. There would have been others just before, but I would allow somebody a little older than me to make those references. But Ike and Plumie stand out in terms of bassmen across the bands in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. On the drums, you can become another BT or Mr. Big. Both of them still around. So you can draw on them in terms of experience of good drum players in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Godfrey is still with us. You can draw from his expertise in terms of being a good guitar player. What about the wind instruments? We have Shakeen that led the way many years ago. We had my brother Young, who also led the way, both of them gone to the great beyond. We have the McIntosh brothers, some of them still around, who are outstanding wind instrument players. And therefore we could use them as an inspiration to perform. The singers, Paul Anderson, and I see Brother Tony nodding his head, yes. The players from the band Touch, Owen Kevin Little, Skinny Fabulous. Those guys have gone on and made big names for themselves from music and being good singers. And Bomani here touching me and saying, what about me? Yes, you have Bomani, and he just gave the history of his involvement with the music bands years ago. And you have the big bands that came out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and there were many, many big bands who made a name for themselves and for St. Vincent and the Grenadines worldwide. Opportunities are there. The future is here for you to create. So you have to learn these lessons and draw from them. More visitors are coming to the destination. That means that there will be greater demand for entertainment. We now have a full calendar of cultural events in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And when I say full, I mean full, extra full. Opportunities for you to play as individuals, collectively, as a school. More hotels and rooms are being added in terms of the tourism circuit, the hotel circuit here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that means that with the increase in visitors, you will have a demand that will exist and increase in terms of entertainment at those facilities. The cruise ships all require musicians to come and play individually and as small units. You can also be part of that activity and make an income for yourselves. So what I'm saying here, and Curtis put it very nicely, not only would you have opportunities academically, but you can mesh that, and he made reference to Doc and how he successfully was able to do and achieve that in terms of success. Doc was my uncle, so I also want to extend support to the family, to myself as well, I'm not family, and point to Doc as being really a person who all musicians and cultural people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines could have referred to, and they did, and got information that assisted in shaping any project or any mission that an individual went forward. The musicians, the teachers who teach you music, they spent a lot of time and energy in developing their craft and skill. The point is, the future is here for you to create. If not by being a player of the musical instrument, by being a music teacher, or by capitalizing on the opportunities that are being provided now and even more in the future. And I want to end by focusing on a couple of things. One, I mentioned the lament of the Ministry of Education in terms of the challenges with music teachers in the various schools. I suspect that that might be the reason why 9 of the schools are not already on board. So we'll have to, in a focused way, in 2019, begin to address that challenge. Some of the music teachers might be close to retirement age. Some overworked. And I see Parry down there nodding his head with a serious face. So we need to have more music teachers available to us. And we need to have them in the schools. And we need to have them carrying out the curriculum where music is concerned. No support for that?
Yes.
I see our brother from Cuba here with us this morning. And I'm sure that that is a healthy reservoir that we can probably look towards in terms of providing support in that regard. I also want to say to you that with this new abundance of talent that we have before us, we have to identify ways in which we can nurture this talent, continue to encourage you, and to continue to take this talent to the next level. With the support that we are getting from Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, we will now be able to take this process to the next level, and I referred to it earlier, in terms of developing what we have here into a full national festival and see how we can further add value to that process. We're going to see how we can encourage these various bands playing local music as far as possible, so we can continue to highlight the treasure that we have in terms of music, and also playing some of the folk songs that we have developed in the book of folk songs that we have here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. For the 40th anniversary of independence that we're celebrating this year, we are going to be making a push for the creation of a independence song competition. No clap for that. came as a suggestion of doing a calypso competition, but I think we expanded that because we want to include all genres. So I can positively say that we'll make sure that it happens. So again, that will be another opportunity for you, the young musicians, to be able to play music and be seen for that competition. Maybe we can use the same bands that we have existing here in this process to play for that competition as well, so that you will have preliminaries and those can be drawn from, persons can attach to a band in the particular area, so you don't have one band being overloaded. So this is something that we could look forward to in 2019. And with the addition of these donations of musical instruments from our friends overseas, I dare say that we can further expand on the music programs in all of the schools, so that we can have an increase, a further increase of the musicians, taking it up from 200 to close to 500. That's the aim, so that we'll have all secondary schools and more students playing in these bands. So students, I'm sure you can draw from what I just outlined, the opportunities, the possibilities that are not fake. They are real. You can twin your academic abilities that you will acquire as you complete your schooling with your musical abilities, because the future is yours to create. There's money to be made out there, there's fame to be achieved out there, and you can represent yourself and St. Vincent and the Grenadines in a major way through music. We see it being achieved by several of our top musicians right now. In fact, our soca artists currently lead the way, regionally and internationally. And we have dubbed St. Vincent and the Grenadines now Soca Land, thanks to music. You can be part of that. The future is yours to create. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. I want to take a few seconds and just thank another of our sponsors. I'm holding a bottle of Thirsty Water. And Thirsty is on board with us with providing refreshments. The corner over there is a blue ice box, and it's filled to the brim with an assorted, different assorted flavors of Thirsty Water. I want to thank them very much for providing refreshments this morning and providing refreshments throughout the duration of the program as well. At this time
Just allow me to add one thing to that presentation. And I basically confirmed it this morning. We are using the opportunity at all of our festivals to add value. So we did it with 9 Mornings, commemorative magazine, door magnets, queuings, and I've signaled to the CDC that they have to do it this year for Vinci Mass. We can have the hottest carnival in the Caribbean, and after that, all that we produce, not from a ministry standpoint, personal standpoint, a magazine, nothing else of the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. That's a shame. So we have agreed that we will be capturing this showcase from this morning. We would have the persons involved in doing short film involved in the process. So they will follow the bands, 18 of you, and 2 community college. They will follow you into the communities in which you are preparing yourselves. They will get information and do interviews with persons from the communities. They will come to the showcase next month, and then they will also follow the comments that will happen immediately after in the communities, in the schools, and we'll put together films in terms of that process. So that is something also that you can look forward to. And if you agree with me, put your hands together.
Thank you, Minister. Since you're on your feet already, Minister, we can move right into the next item on the program this morning. If you notice, that would be your left, and that would be your right and my left, are some instruments. And these instruments are representative of another aspect of the school bands program, which is an instrument and equipment call that we have put out. And this morning, at this point, we would invite members of some of the schools represented here, some teachers and some students, of course, to just make your way over to the instruments as we officially hand these instruments over to the National School Bands Showcase program for the benefit of the members of the media and those who are following us here this morning.
Honorable Cecil Mackey, Honorable Grady Batiste, other ministry officials from the TCCU, other personnel, teachers, students, the media, good morning all.
Good morning.
Now, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have a long and vibrant musical heritage, one that can only survive with the development of persons who follow in every generation. That's the only way there can be any continuity. While music is taught at some level in various secondary schools, there have been many challenges faced by schools and by teachers in terms of supplies and resources, among other things. It is a challenge to develop school bands for various reasons. Further, there have not been many formal avenues for the showcasing of musical talent that exists in our youth, in our schools, since the days of Geoff Venner and the National Youth Band. And some of the members have been here today. I was very pleased when the idea of a school band showcase surfaced and the potential it held for our young people. I wish to commend Mr. Rodney Small for his vision and his determination in seeing it to fruition. I must also commend the TCCU, the Ministry of Culture and Education, the School Band Showcase Committee, teachers, students, the business community, the sponsors who made last year's event possible, and the current event for 2019. In 2018, that showcase provided an interesting but rewarding challenge for schools and students. I know it definitely did so in my case. We spent many long hours rehearsing. Oftentimes it was running around trying to schedule rehearsals outside of general class schedules, and as we got closer to the performance date, then it was trying to schedule rehearsals during class times. There were heated rehearsals at times when students had disagreements about the artistic direction that the performance should take, the rate of progress that we were making, and so on. However, that is a reality of band life. And the students learned so much, especially those who never had an opportunity like this before. Since that time, one of my students has even migrated to the United States and is doing quite well in his music program at a high school in New York. The general production of last year's event, from the training sessions that were held ahead of the main event, to the transportation logistics that were put in place, the sponsorship support that helped the bands to be uniformed, in my case it was the national lotteries, right up to the performance of every band on the night, took on a high-level professional approach and a professional touch. And that afforded our students the opportunity to see much of what goes on in the music business and what it takes to pull off such an event. My students were very happy to perform. They went out and truly had fun. They were so enthusiastic. They were thrilled to see the commentary on the YouTube footage that was carried live. They were adjudged the most disciplined band at the event, and once that award is up for grabs this year, we intend to cop it again, right? They truly made the intermediate high school very, very proud. I look forward to this year's showcase and envision it being a long-term event, this entire showcase production. Something that will be on our cultural calendar. And I think it's one that one day we can see invitations even being extended to perhaps one school band from a school across the region, which can, have one school come in from another island to be a part of the showcase, which, at the end of the day, it increases the profile of the showcase in a regional context. So with more bands participating this year, it promises to be a very wonderful showcase. So once again, thank you to the organizers, the sponsors, best wishes to all involved, best wishes to all the schools, and we look forward to late March.
Thank you very much, Darian. Now we will hear from students of the Bethel High School, a name I expect that we'll be hearing more of in the future. Talented vocalist. We'll hear how the program has impacted his development going forward. Please welcome Mr. Jimel Matthews.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, students. My name is Jimez Matthews, and I am representing the Bethel High School this evening. How this National Youth Night has inspired me. It has, in a very great way, it has helped me to become a better performer. It has helped me to do something that I really, really love. And last year, when the organizers came to the school and said, we want to put on this showcase, believe me, I was excited. Why? Because this is one of the actually best things that anyone has ever done for music bands throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Going through with it was amazing, and the energy that night was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And I truly, truly pray that this year will be better than last year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bells. And you missed him one time, Part of the entertainment business is coming up with your brand and your name, and that sticks with you for the rest of your career. So some have changed midway. I'm not sure how successful they've been, but identifying your name early is one of the things that is critical and key. We're winding down. At this stage, it gives me particular pleasure to invite for a special performance the reigning junior Calypso monarch here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Please put your hands together and welcome Damian Bonyman Noel.
Everywhere I go in this blessed land, I feel that there's no hope for young Vincentians. From north to the south, from country to town, it's the same bandwagons, the same Roma sounds. We're watching those in John, they lost by the way. land. Give I a chance to run Vinceland. I'll turn things around for all Vincent chance. It's all well and good to pass distinction in maths, physics and chemistry, but my master plan leaves no child behind. From those walking land to them with fishing line, the fishing industry need help from Taiwan. Oh, a banana needs a revolution. Let's fight corporate jobs, crime need more than fun. But this country needs a man with a plan. Show us more skills, put tools in we hand. How to bend steel, make mass and humans. Right good guys, so to reshape this land, to turn things around for all Vincentians. Hey. From the enemy, party politics divide country. No yellow pajamas, no more red 90. We fly in one flag, the flag SVG. The one living by one side will take all. I'll spread things around, no matter how small. Let's tear down the walls and join hand in hand, for this country needs all hands with this plan. The youth running wild, things clean out the hand. Sex now is this time, because there's no plan. Give I man a chance to run this land. I'll turn things around for all Vincentians. We blow it out, our destined to do. Put God at the end, Christ in the classroom. The judge lapsing bad, too silent, too long, and biased justice is wicked and wrong. Love and respect beyond this and true. Practice good morals in all that you do. The challenge is yours, you must take a stand. But first what you need is to accept my plan. I am the man with the plan. Decide the man is holding that plan. Give all man a chance to run Vinceland. I'll turn things around for all Vincentians. I'll turn things around for all Vincentians. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Boney Man. We are drawing near to the close of the program. I see on the program here questions from the media. I suspect those will be directed at members of the head table, the facilities, the coordinator. So any members of the media who may have questions at this time, please feel free to pose. Going once, going twice. All right, so I take that to mean that I think that to mean that the media has had their fill this morning of information, and there are no questions at this time. Last chance. All right, so now to bring you a vote of thanks on behalf of everyone involved here this morning is a gentleman representing the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, and one who's been very instrumental in the development and promotion of this program. When I was wearing another hat 4 years ago, we had these discussions, and I can say that we are both happy to be present here this morning to facilitate the media launch of the second year of the program. Please welcome to the podium Mr. Ezekiel Richards.
Good morning to all. I hope that they would come when we can come straight and say thank you and everybody's pleased. But I don't walk like that. Today, it gives me great pleasure to stand there to see this, a beautiful picture. And so we'll go from the end. We'll thank everybody. We'll thank God for the vision, for the execution, and for you being present here today. And now individually, and we would like to say thank you to our Minister of Culture, has always been in support of these activities, and let me add the tourism part, because we make sure we don't leave it at culture, tourism and culture. Brother Mackey, we really appreciate your support in being with us. The rep from the Ministry of Education, Dexter Backus, I know he had other engagements and had to leave, but he also has been at the forefront of this project. And so we say thanks, not just to him, but the Ministry of Education, who would have allowed us to walk through them, to walk with the individuals and the musicians at the various schools. And from the PS grant, thank you also. We get, when we meet in our meetings, that you are in full support of this project, and we say thank you for your instrumentality in this regard. From the other reps, you know, we have a lot of the staff from Ministry of Culture involved in this project, and you're present. We know we have persons from Invest SVG, the Tusty Water, who have supplied us this morning. Again, we say thanks. A lot of other individuals. I particularly want to say thanks to the media. The media who would make this morning's activity really meaningful. It is you that will carry our message. Already it is being streamed by ITFX. We say thank you. Thanks for that. Thank you very much for that. Also present is the team from the government website, ITSD. They are present as well. We thank you for partnering with us. The newspapers, always supporting, and maybe not just the project there, but as marketing manager, I know I work with them, and they always supported me. The newspaper, such like Vincentian, and well, where's Kenton? I ain't sure how to call it. Newspaper, the social media. Kenton is everywhere, but he has been involved with us as well from Eyewitness News, Visit Trade, SVGBC TV, present with us also, API. I'm beginning to think that this is an important project from your presence. I really want to say thank you. It really is meaningful to have all of you from the media here. WFM, NBC Radio. I think I was joking. I'm serious. And I know this is not a story that started today. But I'm going to ask you to carry it, not just today. It needs to be carried continuously if it is going to reach the 500 the minister said, or if it's going to create the impact that we wish for it to create. You are the ones to help us to carry this project. And before I say thanks to the committee, the media, I have this one quote from Caribbean Pete. I'm going to ask her, I'll have it available if you didn't capture it. But I want you to dissect it. I would encourage you to analyze it. And maybe for you to ask questions of our nation, of our government, of our Ministry of Education, of our teachers, after you would have heard. Here we go, and I quote. We need to highlight the music of our cultural heritage in our anniversary celebrations of independence and other national or state occasions. To include it in the staging of our dance and jam activities in a manner to make it identifiable and worthy of its place in a world culture. But in order to achieve this, these aims, we must meet. Sorry, let me go there again. But in order to achieve these aims, we must make our music a substantial part of our music education. And it's so promoted, dissected, and ask serious questions in order for us to really achieve what we are hoping to do with this project. To the National School Bands Committee, Mr. Pan Boss, all the other members represented on the committee, from culture, education, from the SVG AMP, Teachers Credit Union, we say thank you for your hard work. Sometimes we don't see the effort behind the project, but I can assure you it is hard work. But it is rewarding when we go and visit the schools to see the excitement and to see that they have beginning to grasp the concept. It blesses your heart. When we went to the Bethel Secondary School to see that they are creating that studio at the school, hard work. And I got to understand that much of the funds invested there are from their performances that they would have done since last year. That is thank you. And so that is why I want to say thank you to the committee for your hard work. Mr. King, you were there. I think it was you who signed the memorandum. It was you who signed the memorandum. Your vision, your support has always been there. It was you who got remarks last year, and you're here again today by divine intervention, maybe. But we want to say thank you. Thank you for your support and for your visible support, that is, to this project. To all of you, maybe I would have missed somebody or MC. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and may God bless you. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing some of this information shared with our nation. Thank you.